It's time for another character spotlight, and this time we're looking at the Mayans MC, and we are looking at Guero. Of course, that big man who got patched into the club at Season 5, Episode 1, or sometime during that time skip. Let's be real about it, but let's give you a wee bit of background into Guero. Of course, most apparently, he was the son of Ibarra. Ibarra, of course, sadly passed away in that season finale of Season 3. And he's held that grudge against all the presidents that were literally present during it. I don't know what age Guero is, but I'm going to assume that he's not over 30. I'm going to assume that because he does look quite youthful. And he shouldn't really be underestimated, though he is. And he is, you know, not to sound on the Taza side of life, but he is a handsome looking dude. He doesn't look like your typical, you know, hard looking fucking biker. I feel like the Mayans had a lot of, like, you know, just rough looking bastards. Well, sons, you know, maybe not, but I think of Sam Crow, I mean, they all looked relatively no bad unless you were Piney and you had an oxygen tank hooked up to you. But yeah, I don't know what age he was, but I'm going to assume he was born at some point like the late 90s. That would be an estimated guess. That would put him in his mid-20s, so maybe sometime during the Gimmicktrons there. Who really knows? But all we know is he does have an immense amount of respect for Easy, and this could be due to Ibarra actually having the amount of respect for Easy and Santo Padre and also their plans, because that's why at the end of the day Ibarra backed them. But we are firstly introduced to Guero in the episode, the first episode of Season 5, as I said, and he's a fully patched member in I Hear the Train A-Comin'. Now apparently he was a fully patched member of TUCSON, right? And this is kind of weird for me, because how could this guy, right, have been a fully patched member of TUCSON if, like, well, he could have been. I'm not saying he couldn't have literally have been, but where was he, like, during the conflict? You know, and if he was a fully patched member of TUCSON, then he must be roaming about. Like, where was he when fucking Ibarra got killed? It's things like this, like, they just create characters out of nothing, but we see him basically first be introduced when we see the likes of Solus, Oterio and Rooster are in the clubhouse. He's trying to swing for them because they were, you know, privy to the whole situation what got Ibarra killed. He helps throughout this episode meeting with Soledad and the whole gun transport being took down. He also makes a few jokes with Louis. And we see him interact as well with the Broken Saints and the Iron War throughout these first two episodes. But what I would say is he's willing to back the club to the top. You know, Santo Padre, he does back Easy a lot. I guess you do see this in quite a lot of shows. But which is kind of funny. We do see him battering the absolute shite out of an Iron War member. And also they take Stone back to the clubhouse in which Easy continues to batter Stone. But you know, Bishop here says they were wrong, so that night they have to dump Stone off, I guess. But what I would say is here, Guero is very. I wouldn't say he's the smartest cookie, so to speak. I think it's just blind loyalty that this kid really has. But what I would say is he was funny, and I think this season we had Bottles and him. They had a really funny relationship. But towards the end of the season, I think he completely lost his way a bit as well. And you know, he had a couple of scenes, but not an awful lot of scenes. You know, particularly where he was insane. There is a scene where you've got him and Downer, and it's like, oh, who are you more scared of, Bottles? Are you more scared of Downer? Are you more scared of the big man? Well, he doesn't really know, and then eventually Bottles like, oh, it's alright, big man, I'm more scared of Downer. I'm more scared of Downer, man. I'm more scared of Downer. Don't batter me, Balls. Don't batter me, Bottles. So yeah. And then he is in I See the Black Light again, but he's not really doing much, just kind of a background character, if we're being brutally honest. Like, the whole Guero, he jokes about Lobo as Lobo's dying, but he doesn't really have any of these solo scenes. If I'm being honest, like, I just don't understand what's going on here with the character. Like, it's like, you've brought a guy in, right? And it's literally just to facilitate the fact that he's Ibarra's son. Like, I just preferred Bottles so much more. I mean, Guero's he's a decent character, but looking at like his run that he had like in these 9 episodes, like he just did not do an awful lot for me. To be perfectly honest, he really didn't. Like the only episode that he's not in is the episode where Happy is killed by the Reyes brothers, and then into Fear of Death, I Eat the Stars. Of course, that's when we get the big man Diaz come down with Jinx, and yeah, Guero shoots Diaz in the back of the head, and that's pretty much his big moment in this season, killing Diaz, which of course it is. I'm not trying to say that that's not a big moment, because it is, but for me, it's just he didn't confront Diaz about it. Like, and I get it. If he confronts Diaz about it, he's not really going to get the chance to kill him. He thought it might have been his only opportunity, which is fair enough. And then the fact Santa Padre back him and kill Jinx, it's like, pff, this club has lost all morality. Seriously, it has really lost all morality. His next scene then, dumping the bodies of Diaz and Jinx off at the Grim Bastards Clubhouse. Downer does play the whole funny game way, which I thought was kind of funny. Episode 8 doesn't really do an awful lot apart from that. I mean, he is at Creeper's Wake, I guess, but... And then he decides to head off with the Broken Saints with Bottles, and then, oh my god, they refuse to get fucking gas because they're too afraid everyone's driving off. How about you just take the fucking keys, Bottles? Which I just don't get, right? I just don't get this... Right, unless Bottles feared that Guero was going to hotwire the fan, what was the fucking issue? I don't get this. To me, this is ridiculous. They then find that the place is on fire, the meth lab, the fentanyl lab, sorry, and the Broken Saints are they're all raging, brother. They're absolutely all raging. And then what happens? Guero and Bottles cannot battle the blaze. The fentanyl lab is destroyed, and they warn Easy of this when they get back, and that's it. That is it. He then is in the finale. Does not do anything in this. He takes place in the Sam Dino beatdown, like destruction of Sam Dino, I guess. And off screen, he's been told by Bishop that Easy's a fucking rat, and then at the table, you know, he finds out, and obviously Downer is dead at this point, so you get Guero and the rest of the gang. And then what happens? Yeah, they confront the Reyes brothers, and he gets a stab in on Easy. But again, for me, it's like, right, I would just wish in this we literally had a confrontation scene, like each member getting like, why the fuck Easy? Where's the proof? Like, you know, what the fuck? Why would you do this? But we didn't even get anything like that. It was more just like Bishop going, you were fucking red this whole time. You broke every code. Like Guero and like people like that just fucking staying quiet in the matter. I would have liked a bit more. And then we don't really know how to end it for Guero, but we are just believed to think that the ATF have literally killed them all. And it's like, it almost feels like with the ATF coming in and just killing all of Santa Padre, that this entire... I've never really thought of it till now, but it kind of just... Everyone's dead, and it's like, what the fuck was the point? You know? Oh, man, but that's Guero, guys. He killed Diaz. ATF got revenge. Is that it? Is that our whack? Guero's dead. Supposedly. I'm going to give this character... I'm dishing out 5s, but, you know, I gave Terry and Donnie a 5 recently, and I cannot think this guy gets above that, so I'm going to give him a 5 also. But until next time, peace.